I came across this post on Instagram today, and I thought I just had to say something about it because I thought it was interesting. Um, as you can see, it has thousands of retweets on this and thousands of likes and probably millions. This is just one post. This is one of those things that probably got retweeted all over the place. So it's probably millions of people liking this and talking about it. So I wanted to chime in because I think a lot of people are having trouble relating to each other intersexually, and they still are having sex because they're seeking pleasure without any kind of order or responsibility. And I'm talking about both sexes. I'm just talking about people in general. And I think that this, although I don't think this is a good take, I think that it's a good point to start a conversation. I'm ready to have the conversation. So um, let's read this. Making a girl believe that you like her just so you can have sex with her should be classified as sexual assault, but no one is ready to have that conversation yet. Now, like I said, I'm ready to have that conversation. It's a strange conversation, but let's have it. So, classifying something as sexual assault, I'm assuming that they're talking about some kind of legal ramification, some kind of punishment. And I guess they mean coercion. It's someone being coerced into something against their will because the girl believes that the person likes her. I assume they're talking about a man, because I don't think a woman would be held to this kind of standard, but we can say person. Um, so if a person, I guess the question that we have to ask is how can you prove whether someone likes you or not? Because that's really the premise that's being brought up is that if a person pretends to like you just because they're sexually attracted to you and want to engage you sexually, that's where the crime starts. If they end up having sex with you and they didn't like you, quote unquote like you, then it's sexual assault. But how do you prove that someone likes you or not? Um, how long does a person have to engage you in whatever way you prefer or spend time with you or whatever to prove that they like you? Because that's really what we have to prove. It would be a burden of both of the people in some kind of court case to prove whether they liked each other before they had sex. And that's going to be impossible to prove. If I say I liked her, how could you say I couldn't? Because I stopped talking to her afterwards? And this isn't how I would behave, but just assuming that was charged with or accused of sexual assault and went to trial and all of this stuff. If I said I liked her before I had sex with her, how could they prove that I didn't? Because I don't see how um, what cutting off the relationship or the interaction afterwards would prove that I was only after sex. A person could easily argue that maybe the person stopped acting the same way towards me after we had sex. Maybe I found out that she had a tattoo that disagreed with my political beliefs when we had sex. I didn't know she had a tattoo right above her vagina, and I didn't notice until after we had sex. you know, I mean, there's so many things that could happen. So I think the best way to do that is to really make sure that you like the person that you're having sex with. Make sure that you know the person. Make sure that the person is clean. Make sure that you just don't want to have sex with them. Know what you're doing. And this goes for either sex because I've gotten in this situation too where someone just wanted to have sex with me and afterwards they may not have continued to want to engage me. And for the most part, I know why, for different people. But I'm sure if I went back into my history, and I don't have a whole bunch of sexual partners, but I'm sure if I went back into my history, I could probably figure out why. Or maybe there might be a couple that I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe they just didn't like me afterwards. I don't know. But I wouldn't try to charge anybody with sexual assault for not liking me at any point. Now, I suppose that because a woman is greatly impacted by a man penetrating her, yes. And like once again, it says doesn't say specify men, but I don't think anyone else is held to that kind of responsibility or standard. So yeah, I mean, I understand what they're saying here. It's coming from a place of deep heartbreak, I guess. But this is part of your experience. No, you can't get your virginity back. No, you can't get your time back. No, you can't get any of that stuff back. You can't get your feelings back or the experience back. You just have to live your life. Decide how you move forward. I think that this is mostly a way of getting stuck in the past a bit. Now, in this situation, you would hope that you didn't get pregnant or you didn't get some kind of sexually transmitted infection disease. And for me, if I found out that I had sex with somebody who didn't care about me and was just having sex with people because they liked sex and was attracted, I would just be thanking my lucky stars that I didn't contract an STD or get someone pregnant, because that would be a life of deep torment if you had to constantly be around somebody like that who behaves like that. That would be awful. So I guess the conclusion with this is to make sure you know the people you're interacting with, even if it's not sex.